Is it Anisha White?
Yes, sir.
Miss White, you're charged with possession of a dangerous drug. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Holy moly. You also have a terroristic threat of a public or a government official, possession of a dangerous drug, and then also a harassment of a public servant. Oof.
On August 6, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on a car with an expired temporary tag. The defendant identified herself by name in a piece of mail. She did not have a driver's license or insurance. The car had a salvage title and was illegal to operate on the roadway. The defendant consented to a search of her vehicle. The vehicle was towed because the defendant was an unlicensed, uninsured driver in the salvage title status. The defendant kept approaching the officer during the search as to distract him. Then she began shouting that the officer did not have the right to search her vehicle. The defendant started screaming and spitting and was placed in the backseat of the police vehicle.
You say spitting?
Yes. She refused to sit inside and asked him to sit inside. During the search, 5 more tablets labeled D25 weighing 5.7 grams were found in the vehicle. The bottle had the name Christopher Robinson on the bottle. The defendant stated that she was the owner of the vehicle and the only driver.
What kind of pills were those?
It says that they're known to be 500 milligrams of gabapentin.
Did you look to see what it is? Is it an intoxicant? Do you know?
Double check.
It's an anticonvulsant. Treats seizures. And
It says it's nerve pain medication.
Do we know if you misuse, do you know what, is there a particular, let's look it up.
So it says that it can treat seizures and pains caused by shingles. I'm looking at some.
Looks like it's used to treat epilepsy. Do you have epilepsy, man?
No, I had two C-sections. I was basically dead when I
I'm
pronounced it.
asking if you,
No, I don't have seizures, but they were for my stomach and my nerve pain because I get sick.
yeah, if you have seizures or if you know that you've had one in the
Yes,
past,
I've had sick. I had my daughter.
then I'm telling you now, the worst possible thing you can do is get into a car and drive. Because if you have a history of seizure, you get into a car, you're in the middle of 610 and you start seizing, you get into an accident and you kill someone, who gets charged with murder?
I would.
You.
One time thing I had got eclampsia.
Doesn't matter. You said you've had multiple seizures before and
Same day, that's when I was pregnant.
you never know. That's why you have to get checked by a doctor, and there's special licenses that you get from the DPS before you can start driving, and you have to get checked out by a doctor because I'm telling you, you start seizing in the middle of a freeway at 90 miles an hour. As it stands now, you don't have a license, do you? Then you are not allowed to drive at all, and I am making that a condition of your bond. I will have you sign this affidavit with me today. Ms. White, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care where you're going. You cannot justify getting into a car for any reason. You have already missed court once. This is your second time getting a PR bond. Okay. You won't get any more PR bonds after today. You understand? What do you do for a living, man? You have 4 children. Do you work?
Stay home.
Are you married?
But their dad is in their life and consistently helps them. I live with my grandma.
Okay, so you're not married then. Do you get support for the kids? How many, was one father for all 4 children? Okay, and he's in their lives? What does he do for a living?
He works at FedEx.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint your lawyer today because I want to look into, what kind of, I want to look more into the case with you as far as, whether we're gonna go forward or not, whether you have a prescription or not. So I'm gonna have you sign a reset with Victoria, and then I'm gonna just have you take your seat in the jury box. I'm gonna appoint your lawyer, and then we're gonna dig into this a little further for you. Okay? Ma'am, when were you discharged from the hospital?
I have a chronic stomach problem, so I have a lot of discharge dates. I always get prescribed this when I go into the hospital for medicine to take home. My doctor I was going to at first doesn't accept Medicaid anymore. So I recently just got a new doctor and I
Not
haven't,
answering my question.
I don't know the exact date. I don't know the exact date.
You're not allowed to self-medicate. I'm warning you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you're using, and I'm telling you now, I'm going to test you like crazy. If I find that you're using, I'm going to put you in jail. Whatever you're taking, you better have a valid prescription for it. Do you understand?
Bring it.
Yeah, you're going to have to show pre-trial your valid prescriptions, because if you don't and you test positive, guess what happens? You understand? Okay. You really want to set it out with the felonies?
I didn't know when the felony date was, but
October 8th.
I mean, I kind of want to set it shorter because if we can get that prescription, then I feel like this case will get resolved.
That's what I was thinking as well. That's why we're asking you these questions, man.
Okay.
But as it stands now, I guess we'll reset you, get you time to get the script, but don't use.
Okay.
It's not going to go well, and I don't care what it's.
So I just have them in case I need them.
Okay, just be careful, man.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thanks, guys. Everyone here has literally bent over backwards to try to get both of these cases dismissed for her. Everyone but her. She has refused to even sign the agreement to enter the P-180 program. Last time here, I called mom on the phone. Mom says, I have not started work. I'm not going to start work until the 6th of September. So set the P-180 for September 5th so we can go in. She can have her interview to have 2 cases dismissed. She refused to sign the agreement. And she she doesn't have a license, doesn't have insurance. She wants to, and mom wants her to drive here. And I'm like, no, she can't drive. And that's, I think, one of the main problems is transportation. But we literally bent over backwards, contacted, I personally emailed the people in the P-180 program to set up the appointment today. And
Yes, Judge. So over the weekend, since last week, I was tasked with getting the P-180 contract signed. Contacted my client. She is not interested in the P-180. She would like to go to trial on both cases.
happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm now sending you for a drug and alcohol test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. Okay? I don't, good. I want to do it again. And I'm going to do it every time you come here because I want to make sure that you're not using.
The only issue, Judge, is she expected to come back today for that drug test?
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those automatic ones.
Yeah.
We still need evidence in this case. Are you going to give us a trial date or do we still just follow up on the audio or?
I just, Val,
No. Your Honor, we're not completed with discovery on this case yet, so we're requesting one more reset for the audio.
what about on the first case? Is discovery complete?
On the first case, I don't believe so. I haven't evaluated the discovery on the first case. We're looking at the second case together, him and I, so it does not appear to be completed though. So I'm requesting a 2-week reset. I'll get it all put in the portal.
She's on docket today, right?
She was not placed on docket today. That's why I confirmed with everybody that she was expected to be here. She was expected to be here. It just slipped through the cracks, I guess, and wasn't put on the docket.
Do you have the cause number handy?
I have one of them, yes, Judge. 25-13903. That's one of the cases.
I'm okay if you want 2 weeks, because they're not too
Yes,
terribly
sir.
old, for sure.
Thank you, sir.
You know, and sometimes be careful what you wish for. All you had to do was an interview and you would have gotten both of these cases dismissed, and now you want to go to trial. I'm happy to accommodate, but careful what you wish for. Because you're looking at a minimum of 180 days in jail. And I'm going to tell you now, Ms. Sitting Hall, I'm not happy with the way that you've treated us. And I'm not happy with how things have gone down. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, the only thing, well, I guess we'll talk after she comes back with the test result.
Yeah, I'm not waiving her appearances.
That's what I was gonna.
She's got to be here for the next setting in 2 weeks. I'm going to drug test her again. And then after that, we'll set up a trial.
If I may, Judge, the Senegal conveyed to me how tough it was for her to get here and how expensive it was for her to get here today.
You want to go to trial, this is what we're going to do. You have to be here so that we can go through all the evidence. And I know that you go through the evidence with him so that you're fully informed. You know exactly what's out there, because I don't want you coming here on the day of trial. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen that. No, we're in 2 weeks. All the evidence is going to be here, and I'm going to have you go through with him so that you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going to be used against you. And then if you still want to go forward, I'm not resetting this case anymore for P180. P180 is gone.
I understand.
So it's either she will accept a plea bargain from the state or we're going to set this case for trial. But I'm not playing this game anymore.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll send her right now to get the drug test. and
Please.
come back.
thank Actually, so we tested her on 8/28, so she needs to be tested again 9/28, or actually probably like right after October. So I'm testing you the beginning of October. If you test positive again, then I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to let you just keep smoking weed and just running around amok. It's not going to happen. So are we still setting this for trial?
Yes, sir. When I spoke to my client this morning.
Oh, or did you want to, I said you wanted 2 weeks, actually, right?
Right.
That's right. I forget about it. Right. So let's set this off 2 weeks to make sure you get the evidence. We're going to come back.
Learn together. They are living separately, but they would like to have contact to have normalcy with the
It's the
children.
one that she hit him in the head with a pipe.
Allegedly, Your Honor.
That is part of the allegation. Yes, Judge.
Allegedly.
And I did complete the RIP. The complainant does not want to pursue charges. He wants contact, wants to be able to facilitate things with the children. And the complainant is also currently on probation for
A felony.
a felony, an aggravated felony.
What's he on probation for?
I'm trying to pull it up
I believe
now.
it's an ag
It is an
robbery.
ag robbery with deadly
And
weapon.
Judge just off the, I suspect my client's actually the victim in this case, and here we are.
I will be evaluating it for that, and that, which is why I mentioned it, Judge, there's at least some basis to think that that might be the case. So I will be evaluating it before the next
There's a
setting.
lot of available evidence in the state's defense. It's too much for us.
Come
to-
up, Miss Marquez. Do you have?
Four, well, three his.
Has CPS ever been involved in your life?
No, but they recently have came.
When CPS gets involved in your life, it's a veritable nightmare. Not only do they make your life a living HE double hockey sticks, but it gets extremely expensive because you have to hire a lawyer. You have to go through so many hoops, a family plan. It's ridiculous. The 4 kids that you have and the one that you have this relationship, this case with now, they're telling me he's on probation for aggravated robbery. Is he the father of all four children?
All three, yes, sir.
You said you have four children.
Yes, he's raised my oldest.
He's not the
He's not the
biological father.
biological father.
Fourth child.
Right.
Very, very careful because you now have this case. I mean, it's just a matter of time before CPS gets involved. And, you know, sometimes you have to be very careful with the company that you keep because when you hang with dogs, what happens? And I know that you have children with this guy, but if he's in a period of his life that he's spiraling out of control, it's like a hurricane or it's like a tornado. What happens when you see a tornado? It takes everything with it, right? It spirals out of control and it takes everything and it leaves a wake of destruction. If that's what this person is, and he's now gotten you into this ring, be very careful. We never want to see, something happen, something bad happen to people, but at some point, you have to take responsibility for yourself and you got to know when this is a bad dude. And if it's a bad person, if you continue to let that type of person in your life with your kids, even though it's the father, sometimes got to get away. Do you understand? The only thing I'm asking you, well, I'm ordering you now. I don't want you to be using dope. I don't want you to be using alcohol, and I don't want any threatening or harassing contact and no weapons. And I mean, I don't know if it's the best thing for her to be around this dude anyways. He's got an open ag garage. Really?
It's a deferred.
How long of a deferred is it? Any violation so far? Careful. There's a Tasmanian devil running around. If you're not careful, he's going to take you up in the wind. Okay, I'll acquiesce. Just be careful. I don't want any issues. Okay, if I anything whatsoever, I'm just going to prohibit the conduct. And